Okay, so what I'm now going to do is just go to my project over here, database test, and click on that, and that will take me into that project and into, as you can see at the top here, the home page. So this little line here is really useful to keep a handle on. It tells you where you are in the database, and if you need to go back, you can sort of click up the hierarchy there as well. So a good thing to look at if you get lost. So as soon as I go into my project, the thing that really jumps out is the follow-up summary. So there are some options down the side. I can enter some data with a new RSLM form. I can go back to this screen, the project dashboard. I can look at a map and also some graphs and analyses of the data, and we're going to look at that in a minute. But this follow-up summary is a really useful box, and what it helps you to do is keep a track of the people you've met during the listening process. It helps you to prioritize who you're going to follow up, and to really keep on top of the people that you need to go and visit again and make contact with, to keep them engaged and excited in the work that you're doing and they're doing with you. So you've got a few contacts in here which I've already put in. So you can see we've got their names, we've got their email addresses. So if I wanted to send them a quick email, I could just click on that and it would bring up my mail client, and I could then just fire off an email to them individually. It's got a tracker here, which is how long has it been since the contact. And so you can see that for the top line, for another there, it's been over a week since I last contacted that person. But for the others, it's been a lot sooner, so 4 hours ago, as I set them up a bit earlier. There's also a column here for enthusiasm, and this is really interesting to take into account. So when you enter data into the listening form, at the bottom there's a slider where you get to choose on a scale of, well, it's a percentage really of 0 to 100, how interested they are and how passionate they are in what you're doing. So if you rate them on the low end of the scale, like you can see there, John Smith is down at 11, so not very interested, not very passionate, then that comes up here, whereas another there is very passionate. And what that does is that then affects the urgency, which is the color coding you've got here. So where someone is, that takes into account both the days since the contact and their enthusiasm to help you to prioritize contacts. So you can see that for another who we haven't contacted for over a week and they're very enthusiastic, so that's coming out with a red color coding to say that you really need to prioritize contacting that person. Joanna Blogs, it's in the middle with her enthusiasm, and so we've contacted her quite recently, 4 hours ago, so she's a green, and an even dark shade of green there is John Smith because of the low enthusiasm. So as this screen fills up, you get more and more contacts. You'll be able to, at a glance, look at the ones who are sort of red or yellow and prioritize them, and making sure that you're staying on top and prioritizing your time best to target those people who have the enthusiasm and the passion to make action happen. So that's a really helpful tool, and these little buttons here are just for when you contact them. So if I've just sent an email to Mr. Another there, I just press that button, little tick for contacted, and then when I refresh the screen, you can see they've now moved down in terms of urgency because I've just contacted them 4 seconds ago. So it will always keep the people at the top who are the most urgent contacts that you need to follow up. So that's the follow-up summary.